So the nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out today. I'm going to read you the nominees. And this is a Cover Killer Nation Reacts video, so of course that means that there is going to be reaction. Oh yeah, believe me. So let's read these names. We have the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. We have Chic, Green Day, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Kraftwerk, the Marvelettes, NWA, Nine Inch Nails, Lou Reed, the Smiths, the Spinners, Sting, Stevie Ray Vaughan, War, and Bill Withers. First off, I have to say this is a pretty, it has the potential to be a pretty impressive class. Whenever you consider NWA, who were definitely a huge part of the reason why gangsta rap really started to take off. If you consider Sting, and of course the work he did with the Police, and his solo career was is also very good. Consider the Smiths, you consider Morrissey. Considering Morrissey's health is not exactly doing very well right now, this would kind of be very fitting, although he himself would probably be, he wouldn't exactly be fazed by it. Lou Reed, of course, just passed. The fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame as a solo artist is almost a crime. Stevie Ray Vaughan not being in the Hall of Fame already is a crime. Nine Inch Nails and Green Day I'm actually going to have to talk about. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts also, the fact they're not in, that's crazy. You know, the influence that they've had, especially with feminism in music. And I don't mean feminism as in the idea, I mean the fact that they really rock the house down as a female group. Really showed everybody out there what can be done whenever a couple of rough-edged females decide to don some instruments and just rock the house down. Really, really cool. Kraftwerk, of course, legends also. That almost doesn't need to be said, but some of you might be like, who the fuck is that? Nine Inch Nails and Green Day, though. I know that Nirvana just got in, so it makes sense that these two bands, which started along the same time frame, are starting to get nominated for this award. Green Day is a strange choice, personally. I know that they had huge albums, including American Idiot, which was one of the biggest albums of the 2000s. But it seems a little rushed. It seems like the gun is being jumped a little bit. I know that they're trying to probably go for the fact that they've revitalized the whole punk ideology in music, supposedly, whenever that's not even totally 100% true. And, of course, the revitalization of the genre that is now being seen today in pop punk and all that other crap that actually sucks worse. I would rather listen to Green Day on repeat for like 10 weeks at a time. Nine Inch Nails, I like that inclusion only because of Trent Reznor, what he has done kind of for industrial music, what he's done for alternative music, what he's done overall, and kind of his contributions. Green Day is weird just because it feels too early. It feels too early, and it feels like there's a lot of groups that have been passed over. A lot of them. Groups such as the Moody Blues, groups such as Yes, and then if you go into the heavy metal realm, it becomes even larger of a grouping, including Iron Maiden. Green Day in 2015 is incredibly too soon. It's incredibly too soon. There are great acts that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and really, whenever you think about it, bands that are, began in my lifetime are now being eligible for the Hall of Fame, which shows my age. Fucking goddamn it. But Green Day, I feel, has not really done as much as I think people think. It should be the other way around. I should be saying that Green Day's done more than people think, but in reality, in the 1990s, they were part of a movement that really kind of brought back the punk philosophy, albeit in a bit of a different way, to the forefront. And they had huge singles, Time of Your Life, of course, being one of the paramount singles of the 1990s, the end part, song that you heard, no doubt, at college graduations, weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs. Probably heard it because, your Aunt Judy got a promotion at work. Hope you had the time of your life in a lower position. Good job, Aunt Judy. But anyway, what really kind of cemented and cornerstoned the legacy for Green Day was American Idiot. A hugely conceptual album, kind of similar to a Tommy, by The Who, and that seems like such an unfair comparison, considering Tommy is such a fantastic concept album. But it's a rock opera, you know. It's a rock opera similar to what you would hear from The Who or a band of that regard. And it was a huge success. You would think that in the 2000s, in an age where really music has taken on a different life, that a rock opera would not be a successful album. But it was, and it was hugely successful. One of the most successful albums of the 2000s, as I mentioned. But it still feels really too soon. The follow-up wasn't all that great. They've taken on the experiment of Uno, Dos, Tres, and Quattro. Quattro being the DVD, the compendium of it, I guess if you really want to call it that. Interesting idea, but overall, Uno was really the highlight. The band just feels like there's still more to be done before they have this eligibility. Before the eligibility actually leads to a nomination. I feel that a lot of the bands that are not included on this list, the Yeses, the Moody Blues, the Iron Maidens of the world, really, the fact that they're not in is a crime, and the fact that they're not even nominated right now feels like an even larger crime. And of course, this goes into the whole politicking that kind of comes along with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the debates that we hear from all corners, including many members of the nation, many of you, that this really isn't a great representation of rock and roll. It's a great representation of who can get the most votes, who's ass got kissed, I guess, by the Rolling Stone magazine or any other publication or critic or anything like that. You know, they don't truthfully have a man of the people that's going around and kind of cementing this. But this is what it is. Another one of the strange nominations for me was Chic. I don't know much about this band. I don't know much about their history, but I don't really feel like they really did enough to cement a legacy that's now being rewarded with a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination. Maybe that's my ignorance talking, and if so, please correct me. However, for all the bands that are not in, for all the groups that are not a member of this hallowed hall that probably should be, this is a band that feels like a curious footnote in rock history, as opposed to one that really deserves or really is privy to immortality. You know, we have Rush in the Hall of Fame, we have Genesis in the Hall of Fame, Phil Collins is in there as a solo performer. I think Peter Gabriel is as well. Why not Yes? What's wrong with Yes? I can make a great case for Yes. 1970s progressive music would not be the same without the band. Much like it would be if there was no Rush. Much like it would be if there were no Genesis. Yes is just as popular of a group, maybe not to the same sales extent as Genesis or Rush. Perhaps they're the third tier. However, they were a tremendously influential group, and if you consider the prog landscape of today, if they're not including a bit of a Yes influence in their sound, especially if they're going for something grand and majestic, then they're lying to themselves, because this is one of the granddaddies of them all. I feel like the Moody Blues are definitely a band that should be in there, because they've had tremendous albums, a tremendous career, and certainly one that during the same time period really affected a lot of things. Very strong and powerful songwriters. Green Day? Like I said, Green Day is a band that will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Green Day is a band that does deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But not in 2015. Maybe closer to 2020. Give it a little more time. See what happens. Of course, nothing is set in stone. These are just nominees. These are not the nominated. These are not the winners, the individuals that will be inducted come next year. These are just the individuals that have the potential. I don't think that they should be in yet. But if I'm going to make a bold prediction, if I'm going to be honest to myself and to you all in the Cover Killer Nation, I feel they probably will be immortalized in Cleveland, Ohio, come 2015. So just be prepared for that. Just be prepared for that. What are your thoughts about this list? What are some other bands that you feel have been snubbed from the hallowed halls of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And do you think that that there needs to be another Hall of Fame that needs to be constructed that has a little bit more of a focus on the people, a little more of the focus on those who really love this music, as opposed to those who cover the music and perhaps those who have been swayed by the right people in order to praise the music, really influence it in our culture. Let me know your thoughts below. Talk to you guys later.